Welcome, dear fiends of the den, where shadows speak louder than headlines, and every whisper begs to be cross examined. This is the lair of Rose Noir, unmonetized, unsponsored, and unapologetically unfiltered. I am your underground icon. Here, news and conspiracy theories tango in the dark, hatch strange offspring in my brain, and slither out through my mouth. No ads, no allegiance, just raw nature, forensic fury, and a hunger for justice that doesn't sleep. If you want to keep the lights dim and the truth loud, your donations keep the blood pumping. The PayPal link is in the bio. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Hello, hello, dear fiends. Yes, I am still here, still demonetized. I did not make my video or send it in. The one that's supposed to appeal this decision, it says I can wait 3 months, but I'm probably going to decline it because I like no allegiance to anyone except you, dear fiends of the den, and your opinions. That is what matters to me. So I would like to bring you today a story that I believe should be spoken about because there's something very twisted happening in New York City. Let's discuss. This is the sleepy girl epidemic. There's a story in New York City that's happening right now that is absolutely terrifying and not getting enough attention on any sort of media, mainstream media, independent media. So I did a little bit of digging today. And if you are in the city, you need to listen to this because this is the sleepy girl epidemic happening in New York City. So women are reporting waking up groggy, disoriented, and missing hours of memory after nights out, despite drinking moderately or not at all. And some suspect they've been drugged, but toxicology often comes back clean. Now, there are many who are out there who believe that this is a new class of sedatives or even an airborne exposure in clubs and bars. Now, the NYPD has acknowledged a rise in unexplained incapacitations, but no official pattern has been confirmed. So there's not an official pattern, but that's telling me that there is a pattern that's going to be followed. So as soon as I hear pattern, I'm into it because they're saying there's not an official pattern, but it seems like a certain maybe age range is targeted. We're going to go a little deeper and look into that, but let's talk about how these victims describe feeling. So they're using words like foggy or slow, and someone used the phrase like my brain was underwater. Some woke up in unfamiliar places with no recollection of how they got there. And a few TikTokers have started tracking locations where incidents cluster: Midtown, the Lower East Side, and Williamsburg. So there is a pattern here. Let's look deeper in. This is frightening. So, ladies going out, really take care of yourself. I'm going to give you some tips that I used in the 90s to keep myself and my friends safe at the end. And this is definitely scary and shadowy and frightening. I mean, I have taken subways and walked down alleyways in hours of the night that I can't believe I made it through to the other side. I have slept in Grand Central Station and made it home. So it's happening with these women with these reports. Let's go through this again. What these reports are saying is they're trickling in from Midtown, the Lower East Side, and Williamsburg, but the women are saying they only had one drink or maybe two. No blackout drunk, no binging. But then there's nothing. And they're waking up in strange apartments, on park benches, or in their own beds with no idea how they got there. These toxicology reports are coming back clean. Security footage has been missing, and the police response has been very minimal, except for the no official pattern. So many women are whispering that these might be airborne sedatives, and others are suspecting a new class of designer drugs that vanish from the bloodstream before sunrise. So there are TikTok sleuths, and if you're out there, come talk to me, please. They're mapping the incidents, and these are happening at clubs with no cameras and the same bars with repeat complaints. So the woman who said her brain felt like she was underwater had complained in one of the bars with these several complaints, repeated complaints. Another woman described a man who smiled too calmly as she lost control of her limbs. So, this is not a bad night out for one woman. This is a pattern. And patterns, what I look for, patterns are where predators hide. I'm bringing you this story because there is no media coverage whatsoever. Had it been any celebrity coming out of a club, there would have been tons of paparazzi there. But when dozens of women are vanishing into a chemical fog, the silence is deafening, and I can't imagine the terror going through their minds and bodies. But of course, this is what happens when survivors' stories are inconvenient. When the system prefers plausible deniability over forensic truth, but the forensic truth is the toxicology is clean. So something is happening to these women that it is brand new. And here in the den, we don't do silence. We spotlight the issues. So if you've experienced this, if you've woken up in a fog, your story matters. You're not crazy. You are not alone. And you are not invisible. This channel is unmonetized, unsponsored, and unafraid. If you want to keep the lights dim and the truth loud, tip the detective. Until next time, fiends of the den, stay sharp, stay loud, stay awake, and thank you for joining me on the Dark Entertainment Network. And ladies, here are my tips. Tip number one: if you go out together, you go home together. Take a head count. Don't ever let your friends get into a car with a stranger. There are so many stories we could get into right now, but remember, do not ever let your friend get into a car with a stranger. That might be the last time that you see them. If you have a drink and you have to go to the restroom, take your drink with you to the restroom. Don't trust that leaving a napkin or anything, a coaster over it, will stop someone from lifting that coaster, putting something in your drink, and walking away, especially if there are no cameras in that bar. If you think that it's airborne, that's very scary. So, what I would say is keep an eye out for men who seem to be staring at you, staring at your friends, staring too hard, and watch how they behave with other women. If you go to the same bar all the time and you see the same man there over and over again, and he has the same weird look and he creeps you out, change bars, stay away. Have to look more into this airborne toxin. So stay tuned for another episode on the sleepy girl syndrome in New York City. If you've got something to say, send me an email at welcometothedenpodcast@gmail.com.